Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal.
I'm miserable.
And Ron Placone's here, but you can hear him, but you can't see him. Right, Ron?
Howdy, howdy. Yep.
There you go. You can hear him. You can't see him. He's invisible today. He's wearing camouflage.
Bad hair day.
So, a good friend of the show, Randy Credico, right? So Randy Credico, who's been caught up in the middle of this Roger Stone, Julian Assange thing. By the way, Randy did a long series of interviews with Julian Assange. He's the American reporter who's interviewed Julian more than anybody. And Roger Stone had tried to pretend or said that Randy Credico, this is Roger Stone, and he's Trump's advisor, and he's trying to say that Randy Credico was his back channel to Julian Assange. Now, Randy has denied that on this show, and he's denied it now on Ari Melber's show twice. Roger Stone is upset about that. In fact, here's an article from Yahoo. Comedian Randy Credico says Trump advisor Roger Stone threatened his dog.
Sheesh.
In a new interview on the Yahoo News podcast Skullduggery, Credico shared with co-host Daniel Kladman and Michael Isikoff. Michael Isikoff is doing a podcast called Skullduggery. Okay. Michael Isikoff email messages he said he had received from Stone in just the last few days. You are a rat, you are a stoolie, you backstab your friends, run your mouth, my lawyers are dying, rip you to shreds, one of them read. Then Stone added, I'm going to take that dog away from you, referring to Credico's therapy dog, a Cotton de Tuileries named Bianca. I didn't even know that was a breed. Do you want to see him? Here's the email. Randy actually sent me this. I'm going to take that dog away from you. Not a effing thing you can do about it either, because you are a weak, broke piece of it. I will prove to the world you're a liar. Roger Stone. Here's another one he sent. I know you are a dumb shit, but read the Constitution. I have a constitutional right to call you a lightweight, panty-waist, sea-sucker, drunk a-hole piece of it, and I just did. You are a rat, a stoolie, you backstab your friends, run your mouth. My lawyers are dying to rip you to shreds.
Now, in fairness, he did separate the paragraphs for him.
He did do that.
Made it easy to read.
Well, to me, it sounds like, that's called impotent rage. That's someone who definitely wants to control someone else, and he doesn't have any means to do it. And so he's just going to just over-the-top threats. And that's, that probably works a lot of times. Over-the-top threats like that and stuff like that. I bet it does. That's why he does it.
You know what's fun, Jimmy, is you also have a constitutional right to show this.
So we're actually going to get Randy on the phone to talk about this. So we have Randy Credico, who's running for governor of New York, on the line with us. Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hey, it's a pleasure to be back on the show with you and Stephanie and Ron, I believe, right?
Yes, you are correct. Very good memory.
I was just watching the three of you on the Jimmy Dore show talking about Chris Hayes. Great show. Just dropped. I just got it.
Yes, just dropped. Chris Hayes. He actually did a good segment on Gaza, and we're wondering, how long before he gets fired for telling the truth.
He's probably pacing in the halls. Of
He's out. He is. He's outside. He's tweeting today pro-war stuff in the most convoluted way. Have you seen his Twitter feed today?
I have not looked at, but I must tell you this, that, he almost atoned for what he did to me when I wasn't there, when he said I was the link. I was a kind of a lefty a couple of months ago. So I'll let that one go just because of the Gaza one. But that definitely is kryptonite, man. He's finished.
I will see what happens. I thought it was he made a deal where, hey, we'll let you tell the truth about Gaza for 3 minutes, and then you have to push the Syrian war forever.
Absolutely.
So, Randy, let's get back to this Roger Stone. And so those are threatening emails he sent you, and I thought you guys were friendly, so it sounds like your friendship's over, huh?
Well, we were friendly. It's like, Bill Kunstler, was friendly with Roy Cohn, who was his godfather, Roger Stone. I mean, sometimes it's that godfather line, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Right.
And so I always kind of got along with him for some strange way. But this guy ratted me out, as you know, and fingered me. And so the word is is that they're closing in on him. And after Cohen had his office raided, he went berserk. And so there's all these rumors about there being a third man, like the movie, with the Graham Greene movie, the third man. I'm the third man that Mueller has, like waiting to interview, and I'm going to blow the whistle on Roger Stone. That's probably what he's thinking. And so he went on like a weekend barrage of nasty, with a lot of umbrage, scatological emails. I sent you about 3 of them, but there were a lot more.
I showed a couple to the people, so they got a flavor of what he was doing, and he was threatening your dog. And so, do you take those threats seriously, or does it like what I refer to them as a guy who's impotent rage? There's a guy who doesn't have a way to shut you up or control the situation, so he does over the top threats, and that must work sometimes. So that's why he's doing it. What do you think?
Well, I said, hey, look, what am I did respond to him. I said, look, what am I going to do? I'm not a rat. I have nothing to say. You didn't do anything. I told the guy he had nothing to do with Julian Assange. He insinuated himself into the picture. He tried to reach Assange. You've done pieces on this already where he tried to reach him, and they said, stop trying to reach us. And that was the only exchange
right.
by Natasha Bertrand. That was it. She, as if there was a lot more, as if she was sitting on a mother load of, but there was only that. All right. So they've been promoting that exchange, and that's all there ever was. There was never any kind of exchange prior to that. I didn't even talk to Assange personally until last year. So Stone put himself into this situation, and now he's feeling the heat.
Yeah. So what? So what is did Stone lie to the Congress, or what? What is his crime that he's afraid of being caught on?
Listen, he said, first of all, he came out, as you know, saying he had direct contact. I've communicated with Julian Assange. So he says that. And then he's got this so-called dinner with Assange, which, of course, is preposterous. There's no way he could get into that embassy without there being a million pictures of it. He'd have to get unless he went by a magic carpet, went there and went back in time and went through the chimney at the embassy. But so that didn't happen. Nothing happened except for him boasting about having a back channel. So when he went before Congress and gave his testimony, and then he kind of baited them, gave them everything that they wanted. And he says, well, I can't tell you who my back channel is because he's a journalist, and I don't want to do it without his permission. So, a week later, they said, all right, we're going to give you a subpoena unless you cough it up. So the next day, he coughs it up, and he sends me an email saying, I'm going to have to give you up. He says, I can't go to jail. So he didn't even wait for a subpoena. This guy with all this bravado, bluster. Yeah. And so that's what happened. So I don't think he committed a crime. He may have said something to Congress, to the Intel Committee, and he didn't even show up the second time. He had his lawyer give him a statement, and he downgraded my participation as a back channel to a guy who confirmed something in June.
So,
all right? And I confirmed something that Assange had already tweeted out.
Yeah, so it went from Roger Stone saying that he had contact with Julian Assange, and then it went to he had a back channel with Julian Assange, meaning you, and then it went from a back channel to you're a confirming source. Meaning that, which is, again, he keeps shifting the goalposts on who you were and what you meant. So it's obvious that it made this up to everybody now.
Right.
Even Ari Melber, I think, might have figured it out. It's taken him 3 segments for him to figure out that Roger Stone's just lying about this, right?
Yeah, you mean that breaking interview with me after I'd done it on your show 4 months ago?
Yeah.
The breaking story. The breaking national story.
He had exclusive. We have Randy Credico exclusive. No, Jimmy Dore show had him a long time ago.
Take notes.
I think you have more viewers than he does, to be honest with you.
Say it again, Randy?
I think you have more viewers than he does.
Ha! I bet. He has got quite a big platform, though, at MSNBC. And now,
listen, the guy gave me a chance, and he wanted to definitely tie in Stone to this, because Stone is the Darth Vader, Hannibal Lecter character here that everybody likes to kick around, and he likes that. He likes that image. So now the big tough guy. When the Cohen thing happens, and one other thing, he went on another show the other day and said that I was the confirming source for the Podesta emails that came out in November, late October, that somehow I had a lawyer of mine told me, of a Julian's, had told me that this was going to happen, and I told him. So, I mean, he's got so many versions out there.
Yeah.
He's like that guy in Usual Suspects that's looking, what's his name? Kaiser
Sose.
Yes, he's looking at a wall, and he sees all these different dates, and he just keeps changing the dates.
So now, okay, so I appreciate you doing that and saying that, and let's move on to another topic. You're running for governor again?
Well, I am going to. I've already announced that I am running for governor in the primary against Andrew Cuomo. There is one out there already. I don't know how long she's going to stay in the race. I don't know what kind of chop she has. Unfortunately, she's connected to the Bill de Blasio machine. So you got the Cuomo machine, and she's out there as a liberal. She finally came out and said that marijuana should be legalized because it's not legal in New York. You don't go to jail for it. You get a fine or whatever, but it's not legal. So that was her latest. She finally came out and saying that marijuana should be legal. Well, and 4 years ago, it said there was a big poster of me, Randy Credico, the only person who admits to smoking and inhaling pot and enjoying it. So, I've been smoking pot on and off for since I was 17. And I smoked some in the Capitol. There was a big video in the state Capitol. I did it right there. The press was there. And I smoked a joint 3 or 4 years ago. It's on video of me smoking a joint. It was very good stuff. So, she doesn't understand right now. And I don't want to.
You're talking about Cynthia Nixon, Randy?
Cynthia Nixon, yes. Now, she's going against this governor who's a very slick guy. And if they were to debate, he'd bury her probably. But who knows? I think I will take more votes from him because I'm going after the black vote. My entire platform is criminal justice and, of course, promoting whistleblowers in the state of New York. I really want to promote everyone to anyone that works for the government. If they see corruption, send it to WikiLeaks if they're afraid there's going to be a reprisal here. So I'm going for openness, free press, and a total revampment of the prison system in the state of New York and the criminal justice system. Those are my key issues all of my life, and this is my last shot, man. I'm in my early 60s, and so I was planning on running, and she knew I was running. Like, I was planning this 4 or 5 months ago. I already have a website. I've got videos that have been made. I've got flyers that have been made, and I got my team in place now. Who knows what's going to happen if this Mueller thing gets into my hair and I get called and I have to go through that, because there's still a possibility that, they'll go to me to try to get the Roger to squeeze him on something that he's done that's not related to collusion, to squeeze Trump or to squeeze Cohen or to squeeze Manafort. I don't know. That's the way they do this.
Right. Yeah, I know.
That's what they're doing right now. There's no collusion. Let's just get that. Let's stop with that. And the only collusion is the collusion to say that it's collusion. All right. They know there's no collusion. The collusion is the media, and they got guys. Last night I'm watching Don Lemon, and there was a guy on that said, "Hey, look, this whole thing with Cohen saying that this and that, and it's not like a big deal for him to contest." These phone records. These phone records, I think, is an overreach going after his phone records. That's a danger to all of us. I'm not a Trump fan, but going after his phone records, I think, is really bad. So Lemon started screaming at the guy. He didn't want any. He says, "Stop with your lies. I'm not going to have you on anymore." Then he puts James Clapper on to close the show, to straighten out the guy who contradicted or gainsayed the integrity of going after somebody's phone records.
Wow. Yeah, that's your establishment news media. There you go. That's why they hired Don Lemon, because that's the kind of stuff he does. Those are his sensibilities. That's why those people have those jobs, and not people like you or me.
Listen, you said it the other day. Tucker Carlson did it right. He did some story the other day. He was very good on this.
Yeah. He told the truth about the Syrian war.
Right, he was very good, and so you got Lemon challenging him, and I'm not a big Hannity fan, but Hannity can say something bad about Mueller, and Lemon says, how can you challenge law enforcement? Well, let me tell you something. Mueller's not a great guy. Mueller tried to frame Julian Assange. We've talked about this. Mueller, has hoodwinked these poor immigrants from Haiti that were in Miami and got them to say that they wanted to blow up not the World Trade Center, but the Sears Tower, the Fort Dix hoax, where people are straw men terrorists that they're putting in jail and they're entrapping. And they're lying to people all the time. Mueller was the best at enticing people to accidentally lie by lying to them.
Right. Yeah, no, Mueller's not. It's amazing how they propped up the head of the FBI, or not, former. He sold weapons of mass destruction lie to the American people. We've showed that video on this show many times.
Yeah, can you do it for me? I want that to be like my theme song, you playing that video if you can find it, because it's always good for a laugh.
Okay.
I think people need to be reminded that video you should be playing every day. Bob Mueller, everyone's hero. Here's a guy that helped lead us into a huge catastrophe.
Well,
you got that?
I'm going to play it for you right now.
Okay.
As Director Tenet has pointed out, Secretary Powell presented evidence last week that Baghdad has failed to disarm its weapons of mass destruction, willfully attempting to evade and deceive the international community. Our particular concern is that Saddam Hussein may supply terrorists with biological, chemical, or radiological material.
Jesus.
There you go.
That's one of those jokes that always works. You know what I mean? It's a sight gag that always seems to work. I mean, that guy with the sledgehammer. What was his name? Who did the
Gallagher?
The sight gag? Yeah, Gallagher or Rip Taylor would do a joke for me all the time that always made me laugh. That's what that is.
Yep.
That's one of the all-time great sight gags. And so we're lionizing this guy right now, and no one can be critical of him as if he's somebody of untouchable integrity.
I know. Well, listen, Randy, I want to say thanks for stopping by the show to talk about this stuff. It's been fantastic. Stay safe. I hope your dog is going to be okay. I'm sure he will be.
You think Rogers? Oh, so you showed those. All right, great. All right, hey, thanks a lot, and goodbye, Stephanie, and goodbye, Ron. See you. Thank you.
Hey, listen. Hey,
yes.
Randy. So can people go to your? Do you have a website people can go to?
Yeah, RandyCredico.com.
RandyCredico.com, and then they can help you run for governor if they want?
Yes, there's an email address. There's a lot of stuff there. And I was hoping you'd come to New York when you work the bell and become my campaign manager.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look into that. We'll look into that.
All right. Maybe Roger Stone will run as lieutenant governor.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, that was Randy Credico filling us in. Fantastic. It's crazy. This is the whole thing. It's crazier than crazy. But so thank you for watching, and please make sure that you're subscribed. You have to check. It only takes a second. You probably aren't. And then click that bell so you get a notice every time we drop a video. That's the only way. And you probably won't even get a notice, but that's all we can do to fight back. And if you can become a patron, we give you a couple of hours of bonus material every week. We do a solid chat Saturday at 2 p.m. on Saturday. That's when you can ask us questions. It's a live super chat, and we call it Solid Chat. And we're also on Steam It. We're steaming it right now. Thanks for your support.